Oompa loompa doopany doo, I've got another tale for you. Oompa loompa doopany dee, if you are wise, you listen to me. Let's just hope that my voice isn't that amazing to get this copyrighted. Ugh. Lovely day today. Had to start off with a ton and and I mean a ton of paperwork. But in the end, it resolved good. So I hope you also resolve all your issues very well. Okay, just give me a sec. But in the end, I can think I can hear myself well. Red bar, the place I'd rather be. Doo-doo-dum-dum. There's the place I'd rather be. Okay, guys. So, as I promised, you can understand this from the title. This week's stream, this Tuesday stream, is going to be based on Brad Polumbo. I was just checking. Seemed like my left cheek was a bit on the front, but no, it's all good. So we got a Brad Polumbo stream today. And specifically, we're going to be talking about different LGBTQ TikToks and videos. The reason for that is super simple. I have, what have I done? I have decided that this is actually the best topic we can pick for him. And to be fair, he does give us an interesting perspective. Now, while there's an ad playing on the phone, I want to tell you this. I am not a, how do I call this? I don't want to go like super radical, right? But give me a sec. I really want to skip this ad, and it's an unskippable 15-second ad. Give me 1 second. You can see that everything's working well. Okay. So, yeah, I think we can then even make a bigger, we can make it like this. So what I'm trying to say is that I really want to try to make a stream where, how do I put this correctly? We are staying rational. So we don't really care about some people's opinions, no matter which side they support, so to say. What we care on is to understand rationally, is this, do the claims in this video make sense or not. So this is going, I'm actually going to rename the stream, and more rational discussions. I was actually planning to rename this channel, not very much, but I do have an idea which I will hit when we get up to 150 subs. Wait, I can't pick the correct alphabet. Boom. Now we're talking. Okay. So in any case, this is Brad Polumbo, and I think we are good to go. So just give me yet another sec, because I don't really understand what's going on in here. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot through the dark I can take. Okay, I think I'm good. It should have been 5 minutes already, and people should have entered the stream. So I suggest that in that case we can already start. So
cis gay people.
yeah, give me a sec. Oh no, I don't need full. Normal Gay reacts to woke LGBTQ TikToks. Another stream that we organized for Brad Polumbo. And let me tell you something, this guy did really well on my YouTube channel. And I found him quite interesting because he does give a different perspective to react to these videos. Plus, I always like to comment on these opinions. I recently seen that under one of the last Misha Petrov reactions that these are not the biggest problems that we have right now. And again, I am not trying to address a lot of real problems. I just click on the interesting titles and try to share my rational opinion on what I see. There are some topics that bother me, and obviously, I should probably think that these are not the most dangerous topics in the world. I don't care. Like, I genuinely don't care. This is not what this channel is about. This channel is about discussing what I want mostly. Maybe catching up some of your ideas. So again, before we start, if you have any things that you really want me to discuss, I would like to see them in the comment section. But if you don't, then I'm going to be the one who's picking the topics. I hope I didn't offend anyone. I really didn't mean for it. And I genuinely respect that you share your opinions under my videos because that gives me a sense what I should adjust on. But usually I would then ask for an alternative. If you disagree with something, please offer an alternative. This should have normally been an intro for a stream, but this is now the intro for this video.
Cis gay people as a whole tend to have the most problematic and most hateful opinions.
I am proud to be one of the gays with the problematic opinions, according to this person. All right, you sick people. It's time for your favorite part of the show, where I lose brain cells and react to LGBT cringe from the Clock app. Buckle up and get ready, because we got a couple doozies on deck for today. And don't forget to hit that like button.
Again, the difference between my reactions and other people's reactions. I don't want to offend Brad. This is probably what his opinion is. And to be fair, I do respect it. He seems like a normal guy. But we don't want to just look at these videos as cringe. We want to actually try to analyze and give some rational opinion on them. Right?
Button and subscribe. Up first, this trans TikToker keeps comparing gender to food, and I just want it to stop.
I get a lot of questions about how gender can just be assigned at birth. How do you assign a gender? This is how. So when we're born, we're assigned one of two different sugar packets. There's the pink one for girls and the blue one for boys. The way they determine which sugar packet you get is an educated guess based on your body. So typically when people have bodies like mine, they will give you a blue sugar packet. Now, I held on to this blue sugar packet for many years and I never liked it. In fact, I always thought it was a terrible fit for me. I'm just not an equal person. In fact, I'm more of an enjoy person. But I was given the sugar packet. What am I supposed to do? Now here's the rub. You're given a sugar packet, but you actually have another sugar packet in your pocket that is your true sugar packet. So 27 years in.
Tree sugar? What is tree sugar pocket?
In your pocket, that is your true sugar packet.
Oh, true sugar pocket. Okay, I thought I read tree sugar pocket.
So 27 years in, looked in my pocket and found out, ooh, the pink one was here all along. I actually...
What do you mean looked in the pocket? Like, I do get what this person is trying to explain. They're trying to go against all the rules there exist, but at least I can get... You know, this is not too cringe. This is not too cringe. I'm gonna give them that. I'm just curious what he means by pocket. What does he mean by putting in something in your pocket?
Am an enjoy pink sugar packet. So I got rid of the blue sugar packet. Goodbye, and fully embrace myself.
Whoa. What do you mean you got rid of the blue? Like what is required under? See, you say that you are assigned blue. which means that it never was there. It was just assigned. So what do you mean by getting rid? So there actually is something that you have from the blue packet.
as an Enjoy Sugar packet in 2024.
Can we just not? I still have PTSD from when this TikToker talked about their bottom surgery and compared it to food. It's like the food thing
Oh,
is a
don't show me
really
that video, guys.
consistent theme with
No,
this
I'm not
person.
going to react to it.
I have some issues with the framing in this video as well. Like, your sex is not assigned at birth. It is observed. Your sex is an immutable, objective fact that we can tell from your secondary sex characteristics in almost all cases. There could be very rare genetic conditions, like intersex conditions, where the doctors might inaccurately assess your sex, but 99+% of the time,
Yeah,
they are
that is
simply
true. I mean, that is
observing an
basically the
objective.
topic. Like the thing why these debates often have no sense, and why I'm trying to really make less reactions like this is because Brad is gonna say one thing that is factually true, and the other people will tell him that he's wrong and explain them that actually those facts don't matter here. And I am going to try to give a rational opinion. And my rational opinion is there is no chance to convince the other person. I don't believe Brad can convince the other person. I don't believe the other person can convince Brad. What I really think can happen is that you can both follow your ways and see at the end of the day who is going to be mostly right. As history stands, most cases show that actually Brad is right, and any interference in, so to say, in this, how do we call this, let's say in this situation, goes often unpredictably bad as an end result, I mean. But again, if we're trying to convince, it's a dead end. We're never going to convince. Time will just show them what it actually is.
Clear-cut reality, there is no assigning going on. It really shouldn't be that hard to explain that, well,
Should I text Brad on making a collab with him? Do you think he would respond? Just had this idea in my mind. Might as well write it down.
Objective biological sex is a fact and is immutable, there are some people who experience gender dysphoria and who from a very young age feel trapped in the wrong body, desperately want to be seen and perceived as the opposite gender, and that for those people, if it persists into adulthood, the best thing for them is to live life appearing as the opposite sex, and that they should be free to do so, and other people should accommodate them with respect and dignity. But instead, they have to go into this weird territory of like denying that the objective reality exists and then weirdly comparing it to,
like, I don't really think that Brad even is an anti-LGBTQ person. Like the thing that he says was normal gay mostly is what he's trying to describe of himself. Like he actually gives the definition of lesbian, gay, and bisexual and all that stuff. So he's not like totally, so to say, shit talking on that person. He's just he's also trying to do it pretty calm.
food?
I think he mostly does it for the views.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but
Like one of the reasons, I'm not gonna lie, I also picked this video because it was one of his popular amongst the recent ones, like 24,000, and the next one is I'm think gonna have 38,000 approximately, which is more because usually his channel averages around 10, as I saw.
I'm not a
Maybe 10 plus actually, around 15, let's say.
fan of this person's content. Up next, this lesbian TikTok is interesting.
Hi, how are you? I love being a lesbian and going to the gynecologist because it makes for my favorite interaction. Okay, so the first time I ever went to one,
Oh, slowly. Well, let us listen.
she got right down and jiggy with it, and she was like, "Are you sexually
No, I can't. She got right down and jiggy with it, and she was like,
active?" I was like,
really, like, I can get it when not native people say the word like, when it's useless, because English is not their first language. So you sometimes may stumble upon your thinking, what to say, which word to use, and you can try to fulfill this silence or this uh ununderstand no and this misunderstanding with using the word like. So example, I'm doing this like and like bro and like and like that's the way you use it. But this is supposed to be a native speaker. So listen, let's just count the amount of times she is going to say like. This is actually a super hilarious game I developed recently.
Is interesting.
Hi, how are ya? I love being a lesbian and going to the gynecologist because it makes for my favorite interaction. Okay, so the first time I ever went to one, she got right down and jiggy with it, and she was like, "Are you sexually active?" I was like, "Oh my god, you noticed?" I mean, I dabble. And she was like, "Okay, do you wear protection?" I was like, "No." That's when we played a little Uno reverse, okay? And then she was like, "All right, what about birth control?" I was like, "I'm okay, but double it and give it to the next person." She was like, "All right, what about babies?" And I was like, "I'm not in an economic space to have one, but if you want one, ye and dare I say hot and follow your bliss." She was like, "All right, kiddo, listen up. If you're getting down and jiggy with it without protection, 2 + 2 = you're gonna get pregnant." Oh, and no one's gonna help her. Shorty bae, I'm a fruit by the foot, okay? I'm a grade A carpet muncher. I thought I filled this out on a form out there somewhere, okay? Silly of me. That's when she started to get redder than Larry Lobster, tried to rectify the situation, gave me a little attaboy, a little crispy, wispy high five. At one point, I thought she was gonna give me an award for best ensemble in a female picture only, okay? And the problem is that this happens every single time. At this point, I think I need to start walking in these rooms, say, "Hi, Alaire Thomas, neighborhood lesbian," just so we can save a little time and effort. Anyway, thank you.
So she's
Okay, she only used the word like 9 times, and she used it when she was describing human interaction. So when she was describing what each person said, the doctor went like, then speech, and I went like speech. So to be fair, she isn't completely badly using this word, but why can't you just say, and the doctor said that la la li, la la la, and then I replied. You don't even need to add the like. You just say I replied, and then you give the speech. We're supposed to be understanding, social problems. Instead, we're stopping on grammar. But that actually bothers me. It genuinely bothers me sometimes.
a lot. She's kind of funny. I'll give her that. And this video is at least partially meant tongue in cheek, so I'm not going to overthink it too much. But I do just want to point out that if the doctors took one look at her and assumed she was a lesbian, they would say that's problematic. So I feel like from their perspective, they kind of can't win on this one. But that's not exactly unusual with LGBT discourse these days. Up next, this TikToker has thoughts, and we're gonna.
It's interesting. He didn't also like kill a lot of the time because there's really not a lot of time to kill over there. You mostly have to say, I don't know, a couple comments. First of all, she talked super fast. Second of all, you didn't really quite get what she was saying. So at the end of the day, you just counted her grammar mistakes.
Listen to them, I guess.
Oh, how would I explain drag queens to my kids? Your child is practicing hiding from an active shooter at school on a monthly basis. I think they can handle hearing that some adults like to play dress up.
So that's a
Wait,
lot.
so queer people are those who simply dress up as other sex? That's something I can explain, not gonna lie. If that is what queer means, okay. I can at least tell my children are going to at least understand it.
But these two things aren't related. They're just utterly unrelated. And actually, what I would say is that kids should have neither. Kids don't need to be going to drag shows. Drag is adult entertainment. It is, in most cases, heavily sexual and
Yeah, but let's be honest, technically he didn't say to go and watch drag shows. He said explaining what drag is. I'm not trying to defend the TikToker. I have my own opinions on this. I'm just trying to base my thoughts only on what I know and what I've seen. And what I've seen is that person didn't mention taking the people to the drag shows.
sexualized, and I just can't think of a good
I'm playing a devil's advocate, basically.
reason that a kid really needs to be exposed to that, or why drag queens would really feel strongly that they need to expose kids to that. It's not just dress up, there's more to it than that, and that's really kind of disingenuous. And I actually agree that it is bad that we force kids to do these scary drills that accomplish very, very little, and all in anticipation of an event that is an extreme, 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 extreme statistical anomaly.
I would disagree with Brad because when I was young, we usually used to do these things when you are preparing for fire starting in the building. At school, we did it almost every year, I would say. The problem was that we were mostly warned when the alarm is going to go off. So really no one never prepared for a problem. Although in my mind, if they would have prepared us every single time, children, when there would actually be trouble, children probably would have been more frightened. So I guess there is sense of being prepared for training alarms. But still, I mean, you have to be prepared for this stuff. So I'm disagreeing with you on this one, Palumbo.
Won't ever happen in almost any kid in almost any school's life, and so to scare them and traumatize them with these drills, I think does far more harm than good. But again, really has nothing to do with whether drag queens need to perform in front of kids, my dude. And finally, we have another TikToker
Finally,
who
how fast have you been going? It's like half of the video left.
has some feedback for the cis gays and the cis lesbians who are not woke enough, I guess.
Cis gay people as a whole tend to have the most problematic and most hateful opinions, all while being the
Wait,
most
I always keep forgetting. What does cis mean? Give me a sec. Cis person. I genuinely keep forgetting. Ah, no, I don't want to read French right now, guys. Come on. Give me English. Cis, short for cis. Whatever gender you are now is the same was presumed for you at birth. Okay, so I'm cis. Good to know. I just imagine the situation when someone's gonna tell my dad he's cisgender. And they're not going to lie. But the confusion is gonna be big.
fragile part of the LGBTQ community. When I have criticized cis gay men in the past, saying, hey, I kind of feel like cis gay men fetishize trans people, and also the community feels a little bit fatphobic. Cis gay men accuse me of being homophobic.
Everything. Fat phobia, racism, sexism. Let's throw everything over there.
Of being a prude, of being fucking stupid. Sometimes saying, well, you're a fucking girl, so why do you even care what cis gay men do? Similarly, when I say,
Wait, she had something in the
well, you're a fucking girl, so why do you even
apps. I'm non-binary and bisexual. I did cis gay man, but okay, lol. Okay, how can someone please explain me this? If you date cis gay man, if that is a gay person, okay, technically, if you no, I don't want to think. I'm sorry, I don't want to think about it. It's useless.
even care what cis gay men do? Similarly, when I say, wow, I don't like it when cis lesbians say that non-binary people can't be lesbians. Cis lesbians come out of the woodwork and say that I'm being lesbophobic and horrible because I happen to specify cis lesbians instead of some other part of the community. So here, I'll direct this to all cis gay people, regardless of where you fall in the LGBTQ community. You need to think about who was fighting for your rights in the 1950s and 60s. You need to think about who has been standing beside you since the very beginning.
Who has actually been there when America was built, during the revolution, during the War of Independence, the Civil War, World War II? Who was there for you? The Great Depression. Let's throw everything over there. Why taking the 1950s? Let's go earlier.
And who right now is being treated shittier than you are. And you need to care about it.
There is so much here, y'all. First, I am proud to be one of the gays with the problematic opinions, according to this person. As for the complaints that trans people are fetishized by gay men, I mean, look, in some cases that might be true, and I'm sure that's an unpleasant experience, but you also say that it is problematic if gay men don't want to date trans men, but then you're also mad if they are into it. I mean, again, like, you kind of can't complain in both scenarios. As for the gay community being fat phobic, I mean, yes, in the sense that there are like very extreme body standards and gay men are really concerned with being thin and fit and all that. But I also kind of reject the
Interesting,
concept of
actually.
fat
Never knew
phobia as
about
some
that.
form of discrimination akin to homophobia or racism or something, because in almost all circumstances, being fat is a choice. It's a product of your choices. It's not some immutable characteristic about you you can't change. And so
Again, spot on. He said in most cases. He gives the space for exceptions. I should usually make streams about words and speaking. I think this would be much cooler than discussing LGBTQ. Because really, you can talk about this a couple streams, but eventually it might get boring. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't want people to be mean to fat people or anything like that, but holding an opinion about somebody or treating someone differently because of their choices is an entirely different thing than discriminating against somebody because of their immutable traits that they can't control. And it pisses me off that this person is still pushing the non-binary people can be lesbians thing. No, babe, your Delulu is showing again. If you're non-binary, you're saying you reject the idea of being a woman. And a lesbian is a woman who loves other women.
But do non-binary actually, like, again, we're gonna try to Google. We're actually gonna try to Google it. Like their definition. I thought that non-binary basically. Wait, non-binary. Oh, not relating. Holy damn. Okay, so they may feel, but do they identify as men or women depending on the. I thought that non-binary works this way. You wake up and you think, are you a man today or are you a woman? How do you feel? And based on that, you establish, okay, today I'm feeling this and this. Okay, it actually turns out to be pretty different. We learn new stuff. Wait.
So which is it? Are you non-binary or lesbian? Actually, hold up. I kind of agree that non-binary people can be lesbians because non-binary isn't real. So a non-binary lesbian is just a female who is a lesbian and is attracted to other females. Unless it's a male non-binary person, then you just can't be a lesbian. Sorry, not how it works. And don't you dare hit me with the lesbian is non-man who likes non-man. That's sexist. That's regressive. Lesbians are women. They are not non-men. So yes, babe, I'm not surprised the lesbians do call you lesbian phobic or lesbophobic or whatever the term is for saying that, because you kind of are. And I just cannot stand this weird historical revisionism that somehow gay people owe all their rights to trans people. Which also, like, objectively doesn't apply to non-binary people like this individual. There were no non-binary people at the Stonewall riots. Also, the whole idea they were led by trans people is mostly mythical. And actually, it does.
Even those who say that there were gays in ancient Greece or ancient Rome or, ancient civilizations, I swear I never heard of someone saying there were non-binary people in those civilizations.
Doesn't even matter. Because even if we did owe all our rights to trans people somehow, which is just complete ahistorical fiction, but even if we did, that still wouldn't prohibit us from disagreeing with some of the things you're saying or doing now. Anybody who would let loyalty or gratitude for past actions override their ability to logically think and assess and reach their own conclusions on issues isn't a thinking person. They're just an NPC. But I think it's safe to say there are a whole lot of NPCs in the LGBT community these days. All right, everybody, that's it for today.
I mean, Good reaction. Not a lot of cringe actually. Space to think. Moral of the video, guys. Moral of the video. Give me a sec. Trying to come up with one. Time will show what's right and wrong. Time. Just do what you're supposed to do. Zeno77 today with you guys. Now again, if you don't like what I'm reacting to, you can always hit the dislike button. Yeah, you can always hit the dislike button. But please, when you're commenting, state what would be a better thing to discuss during the streams. Because again, I don't mind that. I actually don't mind that. I want this channel to grow. I want to hit a milestone. The next one is 150 subscribers. And I can only do this with your help. So please, if you have something to say, go into the comments section. Put a like if you did like the video. Because, well, if you did, then you see this button will show it to me. I'm just waiting for the bubble. There's the bubble. And also don't forget to subscribe because we won't get to the next high number without those subscriptions. For those of you watching on stream live right now, we're going to another Brad Polumbo reaction. But for those of you watching on replay on YouTube, I will see you in my other reactions. Stay safe. Oh, very weird reaction today. I think it's because I'm tired. Like I generally had so much to do. I woke up at like 9 o'clock and I did probably the first 7 hours I did paperwork. Well, let me skip this ad for you. I did 7 hours of paperwork, after which I think that what was I additionally doing? Yeah, then I went boxing, then I performed at a show, and then I had dinner, like so many, but dinner out. So I was out with another person, like so many things done. And it's 1 a.m. right now. So really, how many hours is it? 16, 17. It shouldn't be that a lot. I mean, I'm kind of young, but you get tired. You get tired, but what I say and what I promised is going to be delivered. So we're getting to another Brad Polumbo reaction. And the one that I promised, his popular video. Again, the topic is very similar. I think we can jump into the YouTube intro now. So, give me a sec. So, straight people should be afraid. Normal gay reacts to wild LGBTQ TikToks. And a skeleton right over here. A video by Brad Polumbo, a gay blogger who does all these different reactions, and super good because I then get to talk about my opinions. And what I'm trying to do in most of these reactions is to give the most rational thoughts on the subject, to stop, listen both sides, and then determine a consequence. Because this is the only way you can determine what is right or wrong, only while talking. So, I don't really know why straight people should be afraid. Moreover, Brad Polumbo has nothing to be afraid of. He's not straight. So, let's watch. What should I be threatened by? What should I be threatened by? Wait, can you see it? Yeah, you can.
Straight people are getting too comfortable, and you should go back to being deathly afraid of offending people.
And now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the podcast where I put myself through pain and torture and react to TikToks from the alphabet people. Buckle up, hit that like.
Do you have a podcast like live podcast? Because I've seen videos of him doing different stuff and talking about different topics, but this one usually gets the most likes and views. Who knows why?
like button, and don't forget to subscribe. And now, prepare to lose some brain cells with me. Up first, this TikToker wants straight people to be afraid?
Straight people are getting too comfortable. I said what I said.
Uh.
Some things are not yours to talk about, joke about, or say. And you should go back to being deathly afraid of offending people.
Agreed. I should be, because let me give you some. Every responsibility. No, wrong start. Every privilege that I get comes with some responsibilities. Every privilege. So, the privilege of you being able to express what you think should come with the responsibility. Let's determine the responsibility.
So, I actually think it's good if straight people are getting so comfortable around gay and lesbian people that they'll joke about stuff or talk about things that they
This
previously...
is true. Like, this is actually also true by what he means by joking, because again, if you're able to make an offensive joke and everyone around is just laughing and clapping you around, that is a good sign a lot of the times. This is a sign of friendship. This is a sign of comfortability, because at the end of the day, it's actions what matters. You know, if he jokes around with you, but he's still like, he goes all good with you, that is okay. It might lead to other different problems, but we're not talking about them right now. We're talking specifically about being comfortable around people and coming up with funny stuff, which I think is super good.
would have been afraid to touch. Obviously, that should be done with taste and coming from a good place, not in a malicious way or a way that's really out of touch or inappropriate. But I think all people should...
If you because it always depends. There are stuff you can say to specific people, and this is so basic that I don't really want to get into discussing this part of the English grammar and vocabulary.
be free to joke and discuss about all things within reason. And I can't possibly imagine wanting other people to be so afraid to speak or joke that they are afraid of being canceled. Like, why would you wish that on other people? Wish a state of
The power.
self-censorship and fear onto your fellow citizens. And are you really naive enough to think that that wouldn't come for you too? Like, I'm sure this person is a cis lesbian or whatever. Okay, but what about when the people to your flank do outrank you on the oppression Olympics scale, when they start saying you should be scared to not offend NBs or to not say something that's a microaggression to indigenous people or whatever? Do you want to...
That is what I said before. Responsibilities that come from privilege.
live your life in fear of offending people and having your life turned upside down? I sure as shit don't, so I wouldn't wish it on anybody else. And I seriously question why anybody would. But I don't know. What did you make of this one? Let me know in the comments. Up next, this trans TikToker is sick of your frickin' compliments, people.
You know what I hate and I'm so sick of? Cis people assuming that trans people are just like unattractive and ugly, and then when a trans person is attractive, they're like, oh my god, like you actually look good. Like you look better than I do. I was recently at a party with like a group of other...
Because that is your history. The history often goes that trans people look ugly. So when you see something exceptional, you get shocked. That is why it's exceptional.
trans people. There was this dude that like came up to us and was like, oh my god, how do you guys look better than I do? Like you're trans guys and like you look better than I do. Like you. Came up to me and goes like, damn, like what brand of tea are you on? I don't know, the generic kind, but it's not hard to be hotter than you because you're a ugly and you suck. Are you gonna go up to trans people and be like, damn, like you should be ugly because you're a biological female. You don't look ugly.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, the fact that you are a female, your voice particular, I think it's because of the voice, because you could pass by a woman even like this if you had a different voice. But the fact that you have such a voice is actually super male. And yeah, take it as a compliment. Like, I would definitely call you a man. Like, what I see outside, like, again, I only seen 10 seconds of you. But if I were to assume, I would assume that you're a man. You did a good job. Why are you pissed off?
Trying to fucking look like a dude. Are you literally dumb? This dude kept going and being like, you guys actually look good. Like, you guys look better than I do, and I'm pissed. Of course we do, man. Because trans people are fucking hot. You should expect this. Dude would not shut up until someone was literally like, you need to stop.
No, you shouldn't expect this. That is the problem. You shouldn't expect this. Because statistics show that most of you are actually ugly. I should not expect something that is not in the majority of cases. Not even if it's a high percentage. I should not still expect. If I have a case that is 51 to 49, I should logically bet on the 51. Yes, eventually I might end up with the 49%, but I need to bet. Like, mathematically, statistically, I'm gonna always bet on the 51%. And to those 51% minimum, we send all the ugly trans people.
You need to fucking stop. If you just assume trans people are ugly, I don't think you've ever met a trans person. Every trans person I know is fucking stunning and sexy beyond comprehension.
To be fair, probably you got lucky. Like, I'm not gonna lie, most of the trans people I've met don't look as you. Like, you cannot say by them. You like, okay, actually wrong. By looking at them, you can say they are trans. By looking at you, I can't say it. And I assume that trans people want others to look at them and say, and don't assume that they are trans, but to assume that they were like this since they were born. So yeah, if like, I think that at your place you should be proud of yourself.
So that was a lot. First, I don't think the idea that all trans people are ugly is a very widespread notion at all. It kind of feels like you're beating up on a straw man. I certainly don't think that, and I don't know that I've encountered anyone who does. It actually sounds like you encountered a woke.
I'm not gonna lie, Brad. I've encountered a lot. Again, I can assume there's maybe another thing. Maybe, just maybe, I've encountered a lot of people who I couldn't find that they were trans. So I said that they were either male or female. Therefore, the only people that in my mind were trans were the ones that looked ugly. So I can assume that I might be wrong on this one. I can really actually, if I think at this, if I look at this situation from that standpoint, I might actually have been wrong.
Woke cringe ally. But like, that's not transphobic right-wingers doing that. That's some liberal dude who was trying to seem really accepting and tolerant and was cringe and overbearing as a result. And like, poor you, he kept telling you how good looking you are. Like, I'm sorry, but of all the victim stories that people spin on TikTok, this is hardly the most compelling one.
Imagine whining because is someone complimenting you. The funniest thing is that if he would have said that you look ugly, he would still fight. You see, even I call him a he. For me, that person was a he. Unbelievable.
And the thing that kind of annoyed me about this video is that, like, saying all trans people are ugly is dumb, right? Because trans people are just people. It's just a category of human being. So some will be good looking, some will be ugly, some will be fat, some will be skinny, some will be smart, some will be dumb, just like any other category of people, right? And this TikToker gets mad about over stereotyping one way and then immediately proceeds to do the opposite extreme. Like, no, not all trans people are hot or sexy or whatever you're saying. That is obviously
demonstrably untrue. Just look at some of the people who make hate videos about me. But of course, like I said, some trans people are stunning, are beautiful, and some not so much. But it's just annoying to be mad about somebody generalizing about trans people and then respond by also grossly oversimplifying and generalizing about trans people. Like, pick a struggle and stick with it. But you can't have things both ways, at least not if your goal is to make any sense.
This disturbing phenomenon where queer
Yeah,
people,
I've
and I
seen
know
this person before. So we are anti-trans. We're just all sick of you trying to make it our focus. We don't care. Do you leave us and your agenda alone? And that's from a gay man.
notice this in gay men specifically, will cross the threshold into acceptance by heteronormative society by and large, and then they will abandon everybody else that has not yet crossed that threshold. Like, okay, traitor. I would say overall, right now, it is more acceptable than ever to be a gay man. And so what happens is then we have another wave coming along of trans liberation. We are not in the gay rights era anymore. We are in the
They are enslaved.
trans liberation era, because our legislators are no longer attacking gay people specifically. They are attacking transgender people and transgender youth specifically. This is different than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Poor victims who are getting attacked. Again, I don't want to say that other people's problems suck, but if you really think that you have a problem, think of it for a couple times and then look at what you actually have. And if you still do have a problem, well, think about it again.
But 20, 30, 40 years ago, there were anti-gay politicians that were making laws to bar gay men from getting rights, and lesbians.
They still do the same thing, just probably putting them behind bars is too far. Although there are still countries that do that.
Person's a gay man, that's what I'm talking about. But the political agenda was to erase queerness from society. Obviously, that didn't work because trans women of color led the gay rights movement.
Why specifically of color?
And now you're able to get married and you're able to adopt kids and you're able to walk outside in many, many, many places in the country and hold
If you say cis.
hands with another man and be okay. I can't go to the bathroom in my home state without fear of getting arrested. We're not the same.
Okay, first off, please stop the bizarre, mythical gaslighting. Trans women of color did not lead the gay rights movement. That's something woke people made up. There were barely any people who even identified as trans at that time.
Yeah.
There were a few drag queens who were involved, but drag queens aren't the same thing as trans women.
And they admitted that they are drag. They admitted that, okay, we are, so to say, men, usually men, who like to dress up as women and go have, so to say, fun in that way. You know, you had clear definitions. That is the problem that TikTok and local society is facing. We struggle with speaking. So that's why everyone is confused.
Of all, and woke activists of all people should know that. And secondly, they played marginal roles, like not insignificant, but the idea that they were pioneers or the leaders of the whole movement is just woke myth making. It is ahistorical. So we don't owe you anything. And I actually agree with the last thing this person said, that we're different, right? Gay and lesbian people and bisexual people, that's about our sexual orientation, and gender identity is something fundamentally distinct. Now, for reasons we've discussed at length in the past, the two have been kind of grouped together, and I don't really see that changing anytime soon. And that's okay, but it does lead to these kinds of tensions. Like this person thinks,
you see, that is the problem. You're okay with this, where in reality, you are different. Like, why are you being categorized the same if you are different? Why are you putting sexual orientation and gender identity into one community, into one pile? Why not putting black people then as well, or white people for that matter? You know why? Because they don't belong there, because this is a different community. This is a different way to differentiate people. It's super sad that nowadays a lot of people don't realize it.
gay people like me are traitors because we're not on board with the full trans liberation agenda. Of course, as you all know, if you watch my content, if you follow my channel, I fully support the right of trans adults to live their best life, live how they want. If this person really would get arrested for using the bathroom at home, although this person is non-binary, so I'm just confused. Like, wouldn't you just use the men's room? Like, I don't know. But if that was true, I don't support bathroom bills. Like, I've criticized that. I'm not on board with that. But I'm sure this person would still label me a transphobe or a traitor or whatever because I don't support children getting sex changes. And that's not the latest front in the fight for liberation. It's a disturbing experiment with unfounded medical treatments that I don't think kids that young can really fully understand or consent to the lifelong ramifications of. What about me being gay and being able to marry a man and adopt children and all that, important things, I agree, should shape my opinion on whether kids can consent to puberty blockers, or whether there's been enough peer-reviewed research on outcomes for it to be responsible to be prescribing those to gender-confused youth. The things just aren't connected in the way you're trying to make them connected. And that's because you're trying to short-circuit argumentation. Activists like this are essentially trying to guilt trip us into agreeing with them rather than actually defending their positions or explaining why they are correct. Who knows, actually? Maybe I'll reach out to this individual, Jamie, and see if he wants to come on the podcast. But I wouldn't.
Yo, man, take me on your podcast. I want to be on your podcast. I'm gonna text Brad after this stream and tell him that I want to be on his podcast.
Be honest. All right, guys, we got one more TikTok to react to, and this one is actually a fun one, not a cringe woke one. This is from somebody who brands himself as a grumpy old gay.
Oh,
While I'm
nice.
not old, I am a little bit grumpy, and I certainly relate to some of his videos. Take a look at this one.
Grumpy old gay rant of the day.
Ah, come on, not putting ads in the middle of my video. All I'm saying this is that I'm not getting paid for these videos. So, give me a sec. It's actually so crowded today.
Keep getting a little bit of feedback from the non-binary folk. Let me go on record in saying no one really cares that you identify as non-binary. I know it's very in vogue right now to play victim, but nobody really cares. What the original 4 letters of the LGBTQ tribe are saying is, we are not the same. But I keep getting
Facts.
comments saying, I'm queer and we're under the same umbrella. And when I read that, I think, bitch, do I look like Rihanna? Who is the one who's mailing out invitations saying, please stand under our umbrella? Ella. And I know we're old farts and you don't think we know anything, but I used to attend a lot of protests in the 90s, to help give you the rights that you have now. Good times. But what a lot of people are concerned about is, what type of legacy are you leaving? What kind of detriment are you causing to those of us that just wanted the rights that we have now and we want to be left alone? Don't drag us up into your bullshit. Again, this is not your umbrella.
Ella.
If you guys were truly as, trailblazing as you think you
I'm
are, then go
protesting
create
against
your
Brad
own
the songs
umbrella.
now, so I shouldn't be singing them.
The other thing is there some type of internalized misogyny that's going on? Because most of the people that are identifying non-binary were born with female genitals. And it does almost seem like...
To be fair, in real life, now I know at least 2 in person, and one was born as male, the other was born as female. Those are the 2 that I get to see a lot, so to say.
Internalized misogyny. Rather than pushing the boundaries of what it means to be a woman, because y'all keep shoving that down everyone's throat, you decided to create a 3rd category, which I guess is okay. But then again, what type of message does that send to the generation that comes after you guys? Because you guys are saying, oh, if you don't fit into a stereotype of what I think happens in
We live in great times. Next generation, good luck, kids.
Womanhood or malehood, you're in this category. Look, androgyny has always been a thing. People my age, we loved us some Boy George and Annie Lennox. And to me, those were the pioneers that actually paved the way for true acceptance of people being comfortable in their own skin. And they all did it without shoving it down anybody's throat or having to create a 3rd category Because to me, that just seems like a coward's way out.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I never lived in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s. So I can't say how his response actually is true. Like, we did, maybe you did shove it into their throats. It just looked different. But I can't say it right now because, again, I'm not super sure. And yes, while I'm here, congratulations, Pando Dude 1, for becoming a follower of our community. Pleasure to have you here today.
And I'm not saying you're a coward, I'm just saying it feels like the coward's way out. That's all.
So I found this guy's video hilarious. He's been dropping
Hey,
a lot of them
Pandu.
lately, and I'll just tell you, it's not going over well.
Yeah, I'm a philosopher. Thanks for asking. If you want me to watch some videos, send them in, because this is exactly what we're doing here. Or if you want to discuss different topics, same. I do that as well.
With the woke alphabet people on the clock out. But I'm going to reach out to him and see if he wants to come on the Damage Control podcast and tell us more about his perspective as a grumpy old gay. Let me know in the audience out there if you
These TikToks are just for Palumbo to get people to watch, to come on his podcast.
relate, if you're grumpy old and gay or lesbian or what have you, and if you feel similarly about the newfangled woke stuff. Don't forget.
I'm Zeno77, and I'm saying that the moral of this video... Wait, give me a sec. Moral of this video. I will get to your comment afterwards. I just need to firstly find... Okay, now I found it. Moral of this story. Guys. We're living in exciting times. And yes, we might have different thoughts on different topics, but it's always important to keep a rational head. So, with that being said, so Zeno77 reacting today to another YouTube video. So I'm going to just answer a couple questions in the chat now before I finish the stream. But with that being said, I thank you all for joining in today, and I will see you in my other reactions. Oh yeah, before you go, make sure you like the video. Where's the cloud? All right. And make sure you dislike the video if you didn't like it. That is also an option, and you have to do it if you actually didn't like the video. But don't forget to comment on it. That is even more important. I need to know your opinions. Okay, guys, with that being said, I'm going to answer some chat questions, and I will see you in my other reactions. Okay, so give me a sec. I need to return to the chat. All right. If you had to, how would you summarize Leo Strauss' philosophy in the most brief way possible? Okay, that's a tough question. Wait, let me check back what he did. Give me a sec. Boom, boom. It's always also important to know which Levi Strauss you're writing. I remember having this problem by picking this guy. I don't remember exactly what he does. Probably this is his comp. He did something big, and I don't exactly remember why. Oh, okay, Levi Strauss, the paradox guy. Yeah. What specifically do you want to summarize, man? I'm not talking about this. This is just like idea has a particular system, structure, and all of that. I'm not like talking about this. What do you like specifically? Oh yeah, you're not seeing my tab. Wait, give me a sec. I'm sorry. I was Googling him, and then I accidentally shared a different tab. Wait, Okay, now I remember what I have to do. Give me a sec. Boom. Bruv. He was super recently. I wait, which class did I study him? Because I remember I went through him super recently. The thesis. I think I do remember him, and I didn't like him because his philosophy was too theoretical. See, the thing is that I usually prefer those who you can really implement it in a practical way. And I think that Levi Strauss, because again, like even if we just Google what were Levi Strauss's beliefs, the human mind, like try to explain it in simple words to a 3-year-old child. The human mind thinks fundamental in these binary positions and their unifications, and these are what makes meaning possible. You mentioned the thesis, the antithesis, the synthesis triad. The person is not going to understand really. My comment was, oh, Leo Strauss. Because I did go through this guy, bro. I did go through Claude Levis. Okay, wait, Leo Strauss. Oh, okay. Yeah, this guy on political philosophy. Yeah, I think I went through one of his works recently because I do remember that I laughed that he went to University of Hamburg. I don't. Yeah, I remember. I think I mentioned his. Wait, I want to find this segment because I can actually give you a brief answer. I did. I used his passage in my coursework where I had to implement his ideas. Give me a sec. They are in my native language, so you're probably not going to understand anything, but I will try to somehow translate it to them. I'm not sure. Did I use them or I did not because my professor might have cut them out off. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Find and file. Why are you so interested in Leo Strauss? Just like for the question. Nah, maybe I've used him in some other work. I genuinely, I remember I had to go through him, but I don't remember where exactly. Yeah, but why was he inspired by Platonism? Like that is the thing that Platonism pushed some sort of community together. I'm not sure that he was the one actually. Even if we go through his views, like there, that I remember that he very much pointed out on Socrates, but I'm not sure that he was really a huge supporter of Plato's ideas. Yeah, that is also true that he went through. We're now analyzing Wikipedia. But Wikipedia does give a lot, especially about him. So I am going to try to analyze it through him. All right, he did actually like Plato. That's why I think I went through him because I did write about Heidegger. I did have Martin Heidegger in my work. I had Heidegger. I I had to go through some of Max Weber's work, so obviously I ran into a couple of his. I definitely went through Nietzsche. To be fair, Nietzsche is a G. He really like if there are some philosophers, I'm not really often a huge supporter of personalities. I'm more of a take the best ideas and basically make them real. But yeah, this guy went good. And here's actually what I meant. You see, it is not a blueprint for regime reform. So yeah, he did go through Plato a lot. He might have been inspired, but I'm not sure that he really went through it. As he said, it is rendered possible by abstraction from Eros. So no. Got anything to say? I'm interested in different philosophers, and I heard that he was influential in contemporary concern. He was definitely super influential. That I should tell you as well. If you're interested to go through theories, he is very good because he worked on different. Basically, what he did, as I think he went similarly through my way, but just more publicly. He focused on really looking at all philosophers. Even like if you hear Wikipedia, I don't even think that this gives all the best, everything. But you see, he went through ancient Greek philosophers, he went through British philosophers, German philosophers. So trying to build up his own good theory. So if you are, in fact, interested in political philosophy, you should go through him. Conservative political. Okay. Okay. Conservative political philosophy, that might go through him, though I have to review him once again. And I also got because I did have to I had to go through him recently. I just don't remember why, bro. Even today I had to write 4 essays. What was it about? One of them was on Heidegger. 2 of them were on Sartre. One of them was the critique of Sartre. One of them was a critique by Camus on Sartre, and one of them was on the fifth Cartesian meditation by Husserl. And I still haven't finished it. I'm gonna have to go through it after I finish the stream. So yeah, I think I might cut it off earlier. Well, there's your answer, brother. This is your answer. Like, though I really need to go through him again. I'm stuck with my homework that I will have to go through. But in general sense, I need to. That's a good thing. Maybe I should like think about going more detailed into him in the next stream. Maybe not next stream, in a couple streams. But this should be an interesting topic. I think that Nietzsche, a lot of the times, so wait, let me show you the people your comments so they would understand what I'm talking about. I'm also interested in Nietzsche as well, though I disagree with him because I'm religious. I think what Nietzsche often preaches is interesting. It's definitely interesting to look in because he gives this form of basically believing in. I think more even in believing in yourself, so to say. I think you can even relate this more. But another topic that he often is super confusing with the fact that uh how do I put this correctly? He says to not create an idol, but then still goes on about talking about Übermensch, which is basically another version of an idol. Drew inspiration from Greek tragedies. Jordan Peterson, Dostoevsky, Kierkegaard, I think presented a better religious approach to existentialism than secular existentialism. Do you think like I can? I'm not really sure. I didn't study Dostoevsky. I never read a single work of his. But even with Kierkegaard, like, would it go? Will it really go that way? I recently had to read Kierkegaard, I think, on on political philosophy as well. So I can, so I, better religious approach to existentialism than secular existentialism. Yeah. Can you probably give like a work where he goes specifically broad on religion? If you're still watching here live, which I hope you are, because the discussions finally got super interesting. We finally got to talk about interesting topic. Either or. Give me a sec. Oh no. I have my native language, my Ukrainian keyboard on. Oh my god, I think I changed it, bruv. How many times do I have to click the button? Wait. Yeah. Okay. First polish of. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this in here so that I don't forget to dive into it. Because to be fair, it is something interesting to dig in. Thanks, brother. Really, like, thanks for the tip. Was written lock, stock, and barrel in 11 months. 11 months is actually a fast time to write such a book. How many pages is it? Enten eller. Oh, he also goes into the ethical life. That is actually something I like. Portrays two life views. Each life view is written and represented by a fictional author, with the prose reflecting depending on the life view. Life views written in short essay was poetic and discussing aesthetic topics such as music, seduction. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting, bro. Bro, this is such a good tip. Yo, how did we miss this in our class? Like, I never really took a lot of religious classes. When I was in my first uni, our classes were more generalized, so we never really went through big works. Also, a lot of them were still based on about ancient philosophy. Whereas now that I'm doing my second uni, it is more concrete, but I just rarely pick theoretical or religious topic for religious subjects. I only pick them because I need to get them in order to pass my semester. That is really like I am more of a fan of implementing practical philosophy. I take ideas, implement them into real life. That is what philosophy, in my opinion, is. Wait. Oh wait. What? Oh, okay. Ba-da-bum-bum. Ba-da-bum, Rap-a-bee. Continental philosophy I find generally more interesting than analytical philosophy. I mean, that is probably why a lot of the stuff that you're showing me, I might be worse on them. Because I am actually the opposite. I really prefer to go deep into practice. I prefer going deep into real life. You need, how do I put this correctly? I am a man of action most of the time. I've been raised that way. I've been living my life that way. And I'm still living that way. Continental is not different from real life. No, but it is still more based on the fact that scientific methods are not, how do I say this? They are inadequate to fully express, to fully understand some conditions of our life. Was he continental though? Wait. We're gonna switch to this tab. Continental or Analytical philosopher. Fichte. Okay. Yeah, the fact that he was existential, we know. Okay, bruv, you know what? You make me look stupid on this stream. You make me look like I don't know stuff. Nah, I think it's just the fact that I really can go poor with these topics. Why does Nietzsche seem to be studied by analytic philosophers at a higher rate than other continental? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This is the same thing as this guy. I fought the same guy as this dude did. So, wait, my phone's not charging. Ah, come on, charge. I need you full. General Nietzsche isn't more than a historian. Okay. Huh. This is actually an interesting thought. I would disagree, kind of. Because although he does respond, he still produces his own perspective and interesting ideas. But no. No. Even if this isn't an example, it's still a bad example. Okay, I think I kind of need to go now. Do you have some other questions, mate? If you're still here. Give me a sec. I'll give a minute. What's your opinion on Hannah Arendt? I actually do like her. In some cases, I actually do like her. Although, I'm not gonna lie, I do remember that I had to write an exam answer on her, and it didn't go well because, again, it was a year ago, and I was still kind of only getting used to really going deep into philosophy. But she kind of, how do we put this correctly? She sends some ideas that may be even relevant now. So for that matter, I'm gonna give her like, she's in my list to philosophers to go back on reviewing. Let's actually take a how do I call this in English? Let's actually take a look at her. Wait. I need to master my computer skills. Okay, we're gonna use another tab. So Hannah Arendt ideas. Yeah, this is actually what I knew. Yeah, I do remember this book. I do remember this book because I had to write an answer on it. Yeah, this article, I think I even read this article because remember when I said I do have something in my mind about her, but I didn't. Yeah, I never actually liked John Rawls because of the complex of how hard he writes. But I did enjoy Hannah Arendt. This is, I think I did enjoy. I enjoyed it for a couple reasons, for like the reason, not a couple reasons. I did enjoy for the sense that she did that her ideas could still be implemented today. Yeah, I think that I already said that. Me so stupid. How anyone fall for this? Oh boy, people are stupid and they fall for stuff. Sean Illing is slightly wrong on this one. Still holding up pretty good number. That's solid. That's solid. I actually like how this stream went off. Though I'm not gonna lie, I really will have to leave up soon. Yeah. I think I'll close on this one. Bro, if you got some ideas, like what I genuinely suggest to you is go on my YouTube channel right now. It has the same name, Zeno77, and write down a comment. What would you like me to discuss in the next stream? Write it in the comments, and I will prepare. We can even watch a YouTube video like as a reaction while at the same time or rethinking. Because to be fair, there are a lot of stuff that I can talk about, but it's always good to have something in the ground. I recommend is also reading Carl Jaspers if you're interested in existentialism, but he's from a religious perspective. It's always good to view both. What did I have on Jasper's Teresa? Okay, wait, let me check my work real quick. I still kept it open, haha. There it is, Existentialism of Jaspers. I do remember that I used it in my work. Yes, I actually read Jaspers and I did use him. I used him in my work. Like my work was based on taking different German philosophers and their ideas and implement them into sports. So in his thought, I went through if you were basically an athlete, by implementing Jasper's philosophy, you would be prepared to face a lot of critical situations, that are sort of on the line, and at the same time, when going through these tough challenges, recovering from them, you can also use his ideas to, so to say, create a good group of people around the athlete to help him, kind of cheer up in the process. And that basically helps to adapt to changes. Whew. Well, that was an interesting stream. I will probably call it the day because we've already overset it. So, bro, Pandy, if you want to talk about philosophy as well, you can always DM me. You can always check into my lives. Next live is on Thursday. So if you actually put the bell on it and you don't want to miss it, then pop in. I'm gonna be here Thursday. We have planned the stream about cheating, and it's basically a part 2. But at the same time, we can always talk about philosophy. So thanks for being here today, and thank you to all the others. If you want to be, you can just be more active in the chat, and trust me, you will get my attention, because I like supporting other people, and the reason for that is they support me. So that being said, guys, I hope you'll have a great night today, and I will see you in my other streams.